It doesn't mean anything. You know that I love you. Are you ignoring me? Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Ara Zone Stories. Today we have a story where this man was about to give his girlfriend an ice cream, but surprisingly he found this. It's a complete story with an update. Let's see how this story ended. I've dated this lovely lady for about 2 years, and she's meant the world to me. We've been two peas in a pod, and I adore her completely. We've always had our week or weekend plans committed, because we tend to travel quite a bit. So having these plans cemented is an important detail due to the arrangements I make for an outing. Well, several months ago she canceled on me for a weekend trip. It was sudden and caught me off guard, but life happens. She had decided to go to a party with her friends. No big deal, and I told her I would pick her up at whatever time she called. I wished her a good time and counted on hearing at the end of the night. The end of the night comes, and instead of a come pick up my drunk self, I got an I'm going to stay the night with my friend here. I was fine with this and said to rest up and have a nice night. When we finally meet up again a week later, something was off. My spider sense was tingling, and she was looking everywhere, but at my face while we were having dinner. I asked her if she was feeling okay, or if there was something I could help with, and she said no, and that she just wants to go home. Something was clearly bothering her, but it was a secret, and nothing I could say or do was going to let that secret out. Over the next several weeks, more plans of ours were canceled, and were replaced with her going to her friends to hang out for drinks. I actually tried to invite myself along to one of these excursions, but she insisted that I was going to be bored, and to find something else to keep myself occupied. This puts me on full alert. It bothered me quite a bit, because this had been happening often lately. I don't know what the next level of having a spider sense tingle is, but I was definitely on that next level. A week or so later she bails on our plans again for our Saturday. She tells me she's hanging out with her drinking friend at the farmer's market, and maybe her and I can get together later that night. It takes me 10 minutes to get to the market, and I decide that I should put on my investigation hat and see what's going on. I do not tell her that I'm on my way. Upon arrival to the market, I take a look around, and I can't find this girl. I look everywhere. I sent her a message saying, "Hey, I happen to be at the market too. Where are you?" My phone blows up with all kinds of questions. Where did you park? What direction are you in? What shop are you by? I gave her the details, and 10 minutes later she's standing in front of me, with perfume on. She never wears perfume. I ask where her friends are, as it would be good to say hi, and she tells me that her friends all left to get lunch. My question is, how do I get to the bottom of this? What do I ask her? Am I imagining things, or is something up? Am I reading things that aren't there? First off, I want to say thanks to the advice everyone had given. There were a few thoughts that resonated that I appreciate. Secondly, get your popcorn. I know we all like a good story, and this is somewhat therapeutic for me. This all happened a few days ago, and it took me a bit to digest everything. Quite a bit of advice was around direct confrontation, and asking her what was going on. After numerous ignored phone calls and text messages, she finally decided to pick up her phone. She apologized, and said her phone died and she didn't realize it until it was too late. I started in right away with that she had previously sent me a message nonchalantly that she just wasn't feeling it between us. After that message, we talked and she said she was just feeling stressed and was taking it out on me. Understandable, stress happens. So my next question was this: your friend had told me that you were seeing someone else. What's going on? Do you want to break up? Her answer: what? Who said that? Oh my God, who said that? Oh my gosh, I'm so tired of all these rumors about me. Who said that? She went on like this for quite a while. What struck me was that she was more concerned about someone ratting her out than the accusations. She assured me over and over that no, she did not want to break up, and then started making me feel awful that I would make these statements towards her. Didn't I know how she felt about me? That I was saying this made her feel like I didn't trust her. I suddenly felt like the worst person in the world. She also pleaded with me to give up who it was that said this, but I wasn't budging on that. In the end, she said she was having an emotional, stressful day and just wanted to relax, and we would talk later, maybe over the weekend. After taking in the advice from here, I felt like she was misdirecting. I sat there in a mix of feeling like something was amiss and feeling awful that I just accused my beautiful girlfriend of cheating on me. I felt terrible. I sat for a bit, feeling like I just put this huge crack in our relationship. I love her to pieces. I needed to go apologize. I hopped in my car and drove the hour to her city and decided to get her a quart of her favorite chocolate ice cream on my way there. When I stopped into the shop to pick up this treat, I run right smack into her daughter hanging out with her boyfriend. They are both in college, doing night classes, and just got out of school and wanted a treat. We were chit-chatting, and she was going to be staying at her BF for the night, but forgot one of her workbooks and needed to stop at the house real quick to pick it up. After chatting, the daughter's BF took off and we both drove up to my GF house. I pulled into the street because they have assigned parking at her unit. Her daughter actually pulled up behind me instead of her own spot, and when we got out I said, "What's up? Neighbor took your spot again." As we walked up to the door, "No, that's not my neighbor's car." I don't know if it was the way she said it, or her sigh afterwards or what, but suddenly it felt like my heart just sank. I knew what we were going to find, but I was hoping for anything but that. Her daughter and I both shuffled through the door and stopped immediately in the entryway. We could just hear them. There's no mistaking it. You know the sound, rhythmic thumping and moaning with little exclamations of pleasure. The bedroom was right across from us. Her daughter looked at me with her eyes as big as saucers and just goes, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." At this moment, it felt like I was living outside my body. It's hard to explain, but suddenly it was like I was just a person watching actions happen. I couldn't really feel anything, and I didn't know what to do. Here I am, standing here with a quart of ice cream, while my GF is getting railed in her bedroom. I had no idea how to proceed. My whole body just felt like I couldn't control it. Her daughter suddenly just screams, "Mom, what are you doing?" That sounded like a cross between a banshee wail and a fire truck siren. My GF actually ran out of the bedroom, without dress at all, possibly thinking there was some emergency. Maybe motherly instincts that something bad just happened. I don't know. She started to formulate words, but fell silent as soon as she saw the two of us standing there. Eventually, a stream of words fell out of her mouth. "Oh my God, what are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here. What are you doing here?" She kept repeating it over and over until she ran back into the bedroom. I still stood there, shocked, still having an out-of-body experience. I don't know how much time passed, seconds or hours. It blurs. She came out clothed in her pajamas and was talking to whoever it was on the other side of the bedroom door. My GF, ex now, started yelling at her daughter and I about why we were in the house. I think the realization of everything was suddenly starting to hit her, because she started crying and making unintelligible noises. Her daughter starts to scream at her about, "How could you do this? And you did it again." At this point, I had seen enough. I couldn't even look at her anymore. Everything was numb and my ears felt like they were ringing. My body still wasn't my own. I walked over to her kitchen table and put down the ice cream, saying, "I know you get hungry after bedroom activity, so here's some ice cream." And I walked out the door. She started sobbing. "No, but I just kept walking and drove home." That was a few days ago. I didn't go to work the next day. My phone has been blown up. I have not replied. For your reading pleasure, here are some of my favorite messages. If we had spent more time together, it wouldn't have happened. It doesn't mean anything. You know that I love you. If you cared anything about us or our relationship, you would talk to me. Are you ignoring me? Please. I have lots of pleases. If you cared, we would be able to work this out. It goes on and on. Right now I still feel kinda numb. I just don't understand how or why this happened. I gave this girl and her family so much and my all. And it didn't even matter. I provided for them when times were tough and did so much to make our lives good. I know I shouldn't feel this way, but I feel like I don't mean anything or that I can't make someone happy now. It's frustrating. I know I'll get over it in time, but it definitely hurts. I don't understand why or how this could happen. We were so good too. So many questions I want to ask her, but I'm forcing myself to not have contact with her and just going to move on. In retrospect, I wish I kept the ice cream. I'm not sure how the relationship is between him and the daughter, how long he has been with his girlfriend. But even though he should cut the girlfriend out, doesn't mean he has to cut the daughter out. If there was any sort of relationship there, keep in touch. She's probably devastated just as much as him. But the girlfriend is a lost cause, a sad mistake. Hey, I haven't been in your exact situation, but I have been cheated on and felt absolutely crushed afterwards. All I can say is that it's going to hurt for a while. You were for her something, or she wouldn't have gotten so upset and sending you so many messages. She's manipulative, so she will try to get back with you and attempt to make you think it was your fault. My advice is to send her one emotionless email. Tell her you enjoyed being with her, and what she did was one of the worst things she could have done. Close it saying you'll contact her when you're ready, if ever. Then send her emails to spam and block her number. You need time to heal. You need time to live in a world where you aren't manipulated by her. You need time to work on you, so if you do come to her for closure, you can agree on what was your fault, but you won't accept what wasn't. Travis and I have been together for 1.5 years. When we met, he was in a little bit of financial trouble, and I was able to help him, but I never offered, because I didn't want money to become an object in our relationship so quickly. And he also has a good job with income to support himself, but not pay his massive student debt or bills, just to support himself. After about a year, so 6 months ago, after seeing that this relationship is promising and we both agree, heading on the marriage route at some point or another, no set plans on when. Could be 1 year, could be 5 before we get engaged, we aren't in a rush. I told him I could help, and I pretty much insisted on doing so. I've paid off about $6,000 of debt so far, and have been paying for his rental car every month, which is about $1,000 a month for the last 3 months. He has horrible credit, and I didn't have enough to outright buy him a car. I have also been helping out with a few bills here and there. I have always offered for what I pay for. He has never insisted or asked. We always discuss, and he's never been selfish and always very grateful. After some time, I was able to have enough to buy him a nice car and exactly what we wanted. We agreed to have my name on the title, but I have him insured to drive it until we get married. We live in a state that neighbors estate, about 3.5 hours away, that always has smockin' deals on cars. We were all set to buy one, and then my medical bills from about a year ago came to haunt me. I had ovarian cancer, but now in remission, and it halted our tracks to buy the car for a few weeks until I could settle my bills or find a way to pay them off, since the bill was quite extensive. They aren't kidding when they say cancer is an expensive sickness. Anyways, that was about 3 weeks ago. Last night we went golfing, and I could tell he was a little bit stressed out. So I asked him what was up. I had gotten a little bit behind on paying the $200 a week for the rental car, and he was feeling stressed since the bill was due, and he had $10 in his account. I told him I would write him a check, and we could meet up for lunch tomorrow, and I would give him a check for that and the amount of the car that he wants, so that he could feel at ease. I got home late after our date and logged onto my bank account to only find $2 in it. I flipped. There was a huge withdrawal from my account. I went and looked at what had happened, and lo and behold, when I was 24, my dad passed away, and my mom had no income and was struggling, so I piggybacked her onto my bank account so that she could have some support. It worked out really well for a couple of years, and then she got a job and didn't need my help, but her name was never taken off of my account. Stupid on my part, but I had always trusted her and had no reason to believe she would do anything malicious. About 6 months ago, she ran off with her boyfriend to Germany. It was weird, and really had an impact on me, where I'm an only child and was left parentless. She cut off all contact, and she really just kind of abandoned me. I've really struggled with it, but I mean, people do weird things. Travis thought it was really strange at the time, and almost didn't believe that she had just run off to Germany. But he's never met my mom, as she lived in another part of the US than I did, and Travis and I never got around to visiting her. Anyways, I'm getting off track. Like I said, this is a doozy. My mom had made the withdrawal, all of my money. I had a long talk with my bank and an attorney, and legally I cannot do anything about anything. Her name was on my account. I had supported her in the past. Legally, she didn't do anything wrong. Morally, yes, she did messed up. I haven't been able to get a hold of her, and honestly, I really don't think I'm able to. So I texted Travis after all of this and told him what was going on. I asked him to be calm since I was freaking out and needed some moral support. His response: "If you didn't want to help me out, you could just say so." He went on about how whenever he really needs help, or I'm about to make a big purchase for him, there is something that just conveniently happens. These big things that are just so rare that they don't happen. I get that, and I 100% understand his point of view. But I am also frustrated and don't feel trusted, but I get it. I am going over there later tonight after I gather myself, since I am stressing out. I don't even know how to broach this with him where he can trust me. Help, I don't know what to do. So, I had quite a few update requests, and it has been about 2 weeks since I posted. The day of my post I went over to his house that evening. I had scrapped together some cash to get him some groceries and dinner from his favorite place to lighten the mood. Because hey, I'm a giver. Anyways, I walked in as I usually do when he was on his couch, and in front of him was a brand new golf bag. I just set the groceries in the fridge and told him what I got us for dinner. He said, I don't want it. I'm fine. I was just brushed that comment off since I really wasn't wanting to argue with him. I asked him about his new golf bag, and he had bought it with his club credit, which made me soften up a little bit. So, I sat down in the recliner across from him and started scribbling on my notepad a game plan for him with a budget for him and a way he can afford a car. I told him the game plan and he curtly said, sounds good. Then I went out into his backyard. He lives on beautiful farmland with a nice deck out back, since I just didn't want to deal with him. And I just sat outside and cried. He came outside and started fiddling with some stuff in his yard, and didn't say a word to me. He said, so should I just plan on you not talking tonight? And then went on about how I have been such a source of disappointment for him financially. So, I didn't say a word, took the groceries and dinner I bought and told him we are done, and left. I blocked his number, and he is no longer a part of my life. If I were her, I'd remind him he's a grown man, and he should appreciate the help that he's getting. It was a privilege, and that he had that help, he was not entitled to it, which is how he has been acting. She shouldn't go back to him, let him drown and learn the hard way. Sometimes people need that to grow up. Good for her in taking the food back. It's hers and never his.